Shazam, we're live. It's James speaking, trainingsites.io. It's Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Every Wednesday we do these calls. They're live, open Q&As. I guess you could call them that. It's Ask Me Anything, unscripted, unfiltered. We can talk about anything having to do with starting, building, and growing an education business. So usually when I go through these, I try and make sure everything's running properly. So we'll just check the sound on the other side. And again, there we go. I got sound. Turn that off in the other monitor. Um, yeah, so these are completely open. I would love for you to put any questions you have in the chat. And again, anything's open. It can be very, very basic, as complex as you want. And if I have no idea what the answer is or what you're talking about, I'll let you know. Totally not the expert on this, just someone who has a lot of fun investigating all of the options that are available to us now on a daily basis when it comes to learning and AI. So I put on the thumbnail today just talking a little bit about AI agents and applications and workflows and things. And the reason I put that down, actually, I'll show you why I put it down. And this is one of the things that I really like about, I've got some screens open here. So this is one of the things that I've really kind of learned about the whole, and why I focus so much on privately branded campuses, and why I think that whole thing about having your own free community library, having your own classes that are interactive, hold your feet to the fire, application and implementation classes where you actually work with people, and then finally treating courses and education as a business. That's the 3-step to the privately branded campus. But I'm going to show you why I'm doing this topic today, and it's because something that I learned myself just by running a simple poll, or I guess you could call it a poll. I'm going to make sure I'm logged in on my own account here. Every time I start these, I try and restart my server and my browser and stuff just to make sure that no issues happen. So hopefully that will be the case today. If there is any problems, again, I apologize. And we'll try and do my best here in the home office here. So let me just get logged in. I'm logged in now, and we'll get into the trainingsites.io site. I'm going to show you there's the admin one. There we go. Oh, it looks like we had an update. So I'm going to go to the community portal. And again, this is free for you to go in and actually join. And one of the things that I found out, which was kind of interesting for me, is if I go to the general discussion area on the left-hand side here, I did ask a little bit of a poll 2.5 weeks ago, and we've had 400 people put their votes in the last little while. And these are the things, the questions that you guys have about things that you want covered. And, I was actually a little bit surprised that the number one thing was, I want to use AI to build better learning experiences, apps, simulations, and workflows. So we've got 82 votes for that. So 20%, which was the highest. And then the other one was, I want to build a full education business with a website, community, and system. So the reason I'm saying this is because it kind of validated what I was thinking, getting feedback from people who are here. And I think, being able to have your own community, get feedback from people as to what they want covered. That's why I put the topic that's down today. And if we want to cover that, we certainly can. So, and here's one here. Here's a question. I don't know if this is serious. I'll put it in here. How can I learn duct fitting? It's actually a pretty good question, and we could actually look at it if it is a real question, if it's not someone who's asking or just playing off and saying, "Hey, how do I figure out how do I do duct fitting?" And if you're selling a duct fitting service, I'm not really sure, but I'll keep it on the broadcast, and we can actually cover that if you want to, because it is a good example actually about being able to teach physical skills or learn about physical skills and how that is changing. But I would prefer to have other questions as we get going. So who's on the call here? Give me thumbs up. Let me know who's here. Where are you from? What are you working on? I would love to basically cover anything that you guys have questions about. And as always, I could talk about this stuff for days. And often I do, because I'll end up doing maybe 1 to 2 videos a day. Some of them get longer, some of them are not, but it's just a real interest in learning and how everything is changing drastically, especially over the next 387 days. So the end of 2026, I think agents, mini applications, all of this AI stuff, I think is coming faster than we realize, and it's going to completely replace a whole bunch of different jobs. And in fact, I did a video yesterday on that one. I think it was here actually. Yeah, this one right here, where I was talking about, if you get a chance to watch this, I would suggest that you do, because it's kind of a layout where I think what's happening over the next, 365 days slash 388, when I did it yesterday on the 9th of December. So right now we're at 387. But yeah, things are happening really quickly. And I think the part that's here that I hopefully was able to explain is that agents and applications are the ones that are going to be replacing people who teach and or create courses the way that they've always been doing it. And I think the real answer to how this fits in is having your own privately branded campus. And hopefully I made the case in there for you to kind of play around with it. So before I get to that answer, if it's a serious answer, maybe what I'll do is I will talk a little bit about, I get asked this question, and it's important to the AI agents and applications. I get asked this question on a regular basis, pretty regular basis. Let me see if I can get my video pencil working here so you can actually see it. We'll open this up on my little tablet here. And if you don't know what I'm doing, one of the things that I have here is I've just got a little tablet mini, Apple Mini tablet. And this is an app called Video Pencil. And it works with the Mac, obviously. And I'm using Ecamm software, which is a live streaming and recording software that allows me just to do a live stream like this and record everything that I do. And the other piece that I have here is Stream Deck. In Stream Deck, it's reversed. You see it? Basically, I just press the buttons and it changes the scenes through all of the different ones. And one of the scenes that I have here is the Video Pencil. So I open up my Video Pencil, and when I write on the Video Pencil, you guys get to see it. So here's what I just want to do to cover where it's important about this whole kind of space about agents and workflows. And the reason I'm covering this, and again, any comments, questions, please put them in the chat. I would love to answer them. Here's kind of my look at this. People ask me, what kind of browsers are you using? What kind of tools are you using on a regular basis? Which tool should I use for this particular task? And that kind of thing. And this is my understanding on how I decide on using something. And this has to do with agents and applications. So if this is something that makes sense to you, let me know if you've got another tool or you use one. I'm just going to show you why I pick and when I pick between the 3 big ones. So I'm just going to do a little kind of thing here. And this is where I think the big AI tools are positioned. If I look at, and again, this is my, if I look at ChatGPT, basically the big one in the room, and then I have Claude from Anthropic, and then there's Gemini from Google. So those are still the kind of big 3 ones. Yes, there's Perplexity and Grok and a whole bunch of other ones. But for me here in North America, these seem to be the ones that often get talked about more and the ones that I find myself working in the most. Now, here's the way I look at it. ChatGPT has a lot of really cool features. And I'm not talking about benchmarks. I'm talking about the purpose of why you would use a particular tool. This, I think ChatGPT, the way that they've positioned it, and because some people associate with ChatGPT, I think they're more in what I'd call the consumer market. So this is a general market where people use ChatGPT on a regular basis, irrespective if they're in business or if it's for fun. And in fact, if they're doing now for search, it's replacing search. That is kind of the. Let me just get rid of that. That is kind of the base tool right now. And a lot of people just use it with search and prompts. And it's very good at research. It's very good at answering those questions. And there's some really cool things with it. For example, they just launched ChatGPT teams or members, pardon me, where you can do group chats, and one of the members of the group chat is actually ChatGPT. They have all sorts of things with agents and scheduling, custom GPTs. But for me, a lot of that is not necessarily business specific. So I tend to use Claude a little bit more. And the reason that I use Claude is because I think the way Claude uses it's for business, or more focused on small business. What I think Claude does is it does a really good job of connecting to external parts of your business and helping you work, whether it's with data or tools like PowerPoints and writing documents, but it works from the center and it works out. And it's more focused on business. And in fact, I think they signed Claude is the only of the AI ones I think that is profitable right now. And they've done a whole bunch of really, really big deals with businesses where they're bundling Claude and all of its abilities and agent skills, which I'll talk about in a second. Those are being bundled into the companies and the companies are using it. So they're not necessarily as interested in search and things that a consumer would be interested in. They're trying to figure out, how can I be involved in your business to build agents and apps and things like that, but I want to output it in PowerPoint or a Google Doc or a PDF or a spreadsheet, or I want you to create a little piece of software in a dashboard that follows my brand. But they're in the middle, and they're the ones that are actually working with all the tools that you may already work with within your business, and specifically with agent skills, which I'll talk about in a second. And then on the other hand, the one that's the big one in the room, and I think, one of the really ones that I like as well is you're looking at Gemini. And what Gemini is, again, in my opinion, they're doing it backwards from Claude. And what this means is you have something like search. Again, pardon my, and then you have the workspace. And then you have apps that are there. But what they're doing is they're integrating all of these tools like Nana Banana and workflows and Notebook LM. What they're doing is they're trying to get it all into the Google Workspace ecosystem. So they're kind of moving everyone into Google. Uh, Anthropic and Claude is trying to connect everything, and then the ChatGPT is kind of on the consumer part. I think ChatGPT from a business and especially in the education space, they're going to have some problem moving forward because they're not able to integrate into the workflows and stuff that are happening. So give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you. Here's my kind of position on this. The ones that I find myself using on a regular basis is Claude, and then also Gemini. Just because I have a workspace account, I find that I'm kind of all of these cool pieces I'm using, whether it be my Gmail or a doc or Notebook LM or any of the AI Studio stuff we can look at today, I find that I'm actually using pieces and connecting it all in the one space. But if I'm doing marketing stuff where there's connecting to external systems, I find myself using Claude, and less I'm using ChatGPT. So for me personally, when I'm looking at my business and the agents and all of the things that connect together, I find myself in Claude. If I'm trying to figure out, how can I reduce the number of times that I have to copy and paste something from one part of my workspace to another, I'll end up using Gemini, because Gemini's in everything now, basically. They brought everything into Gemini, right from the browser out to any of the tools that they're actually creating. So in the labs. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. That's kind of the space that I'm in. And the reason I wanted to show this to you today is because the one thing that Claude announced, and I'll show it to you right now. The one thing that Claude announced, I guess it was maybe 30 days ago, is they have, and I'll show this to you right now, they have what are called Claude skills. So if you're not familiar with Anthropic, they have two really cool things. They have a thing that's called the Claude MCP, or Model Context Protocol. And all that means is, remember I was talking about Claude in the middle? What it can do is it connects to your website, to your Notion database, to your whatever tool that you have that's outside of Claude, and you're using that tool. They have this thing called MCP that connects the data. So that means when you're chatting in Claude, it can actually reference information or services or anything else that an external piece of software does that supports MCP. And there's thousands of connectors now. So they did a really good job at doing that. What happened last month is they created what they call as skills, but what they started calling yesterday as agent skills. And what a skill is, it's almost like, it's similar to a custom GPT, but it is a prepackaged task, a specific skill that has all of the resources. And I'm not talking about information to pull from, I'm talking about software scripts, I'm talking about documentation, I'm talking about everything that that agent, that skill package needs, including connections to all of the external tools. They've allowed you to start creating custom skills. And in fact, I created 3 or 4 skills which I sell, and those are the ones I'll show you right now. I created 3 that are for sale now. I have one here. Let me just pull these ones up here. I think we had it on. Let me just see which we'll do. Type it in here. By the way, this is trainingsites.io. This is the kind of the course library or the content library. And these are free to you except for the skills, which I do charge for. But if you just go in and you type, and if you haven't already, just go to trainingsites.io and you'll be able to find it. Let's see if we can get some skills showing up. Oh, I'm going to make sure I'm in all. There we go. So I've got, actually this one is free, and I'll show you that in a second. This just explains skills. But these ones right here, I have one that actually is a skill for going out and doing competitive analysis on all of the messaging of your competitors. I have another one that goes out and does research to find out if the topic you have is profitable, if there's demand, if it's something that you is a green light, red light, yellow light. And then I actually have a skill that creates skills. So these are skills that are packages, and I want you to think of these as agents or employees. And you can have as many agents as you want. And the cool thing is that these ones can talk to each other, and with Claude, talk to all of these other services. So, you know, I really think that this is the first kind of step where you have an expert, someone that does one task really, really well, and you can ask it to do something, and it will know which of the skills it needs at which time to actually get the complete task done. And that's the exciting part as to where it's going. So hopefully that makes sense for you. You can go and look at these. I have a whole bunch of videos available on the YouTube channel that kind of introduce them, but they are absolutely stunning on how effective they are. And again, it's you basically just saying, hey, run this skill or use my course topic finder skill to confirm that this is a good idea, or research my competitors for this particular topic and let me know who's doing what and what their messaging is. And it's something that just gets out and done. It's not about prompting anymore. It's about handing off a piece of work to someone to actually go and get done. So let me know, what do we got for questions here? What do you guys want to look at? Do you want to build an app? Do you want to build a skill? Do you want to look at some of the cool tools that are available in this whole space? You know, I think the big thing for all of us is we kind of got to get ourselves positioned now, is it's not about figuring out how to do a prompt, but we got to get strategic about where does everything fit in here? Where are the pieces of our business that make sense, and where are the ones that are not going to be around shortly? And you know, I did that video up yesterday, which was, I think, was actually pretty scary, because I went over 3 different job types in the education space that I think aren't going to exist in the next 6 months. So, you know, if you're, I think the one phrase that I came up with that, you know, when I was doing the research for it, it's like, why would you bother creating a course with a platform when the platform provides the answers to the people that you're trying to sell the course to? Like, why would you bother? I think you've got a lot of other options to monetize and teach and change or adapt to all of this AI stuff, as opposed to trying to do stuff the old way, which I think is, no longer a valid option for a lot of people. So if you do get a chance, obviously I would love for you to get in and join the community. It's live as always. I'm there. Some of the members are there. We're answering questions. There's no bad questions at this point. We're just learning about AI stuff and building out our education businesses, which is still a huge opportunity. I'm not saying that courses are, I don't want to use the word courses anymore. And that's why I'm always kind of ditching on it. Traditional content courses, the way people thought about, if I just create my first course and I put it into a learning management software and run ads and do lead funnels, I'm going to be able to sell stuff. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I see people struggling with it now, and it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So I'm asking you to just open your mind a little bit and think a little, think a little bit out of the box and say, what can I put together as a business that kind of makes sense? And the model that I've put together, and this is the one that I'm teaching or trying to teach as best I can. You can take a look at this, and again, we can talk about it if you want. But I look at this particular space and I look at the 3 steps to having your own privately branded campus. The first one is to have your own free community, just like trainingsites.io, and put as much information and content that is repurposed and somewhat unstructured into your library so people can go in and take a look and learn about a particular topic that you're interested in. So that's the free zone. Create your community, do it as fast as you can with as much content as you can. And the one thing I'm going to ask you guys right now, give me a thumbs up. Let me know does everyone have a YouTube channel now? Let me know. Does everyone have a YouTube channel? Put the links in, put them in the chats, in the comments. Let everyone know what your YouTube channel is. I think I am all in on YouTube. It is the only content that I create, and I use AI to repurpose everything after the YouTube content. So I don't write any emails. I don't write any social media. I don't do any search engine optimization. I don't create any course content myself. It is basically everything is from YouTube videos. And I do as much as I can, as quickly as I can, with as few edits as possible, trying to do live edits with what I was just doing today, switching back and forth between these kind of different platforms. And I just try and do that so that I have stuff in my community library that can be repurposed. So how come there's no comments today? No one's got any questions? Usually we got questions about stuff. You know, Training classes, this is the opportunity to get paid. I think we're going to have to get involved with people like a real teacher or an educator or someone who can guide and mentor and keep people on track, doing the things that we're talking about in our process or in our system. And then, treating it like a business and automating and leveraging all of the tools that are now available for us, whether those be automations and workflows and being able to partner with other people and work in joint ventures or work or bring other people into our business. So that's kind of the space that I'm in. I'm surprised there's no questions. I can, if you want to talk about going over and doing duct fitting, that's something we can do. And let me just show you this right now. Actually, let me do this. We'll actually pull something up. And this is one, I'm going to put this one in. One of the things that happens, I'm going to close this. One of the things that happens is that, and this was one I showed a while ago. If you have a physical skill, such as duct cleaning as an example, and or doing something physical, whether it's playing a particular sport or learning a skill where you're live with someone, there's a whole bunch of tools now that you can actually use to analyze what it is that's happening. And I'll just give you a couple examples of one of the things that you can do. So I'm going to open up aistudio.google.com. And there's a couple things that are kind of neat here. When this opens up, remember AI Studio is free for everyone. All you need is a Google account. And when you are using AI Studio, which is a kind of a place, it's a playground where you can play with things, but by default, they have the, the chat here, which is just, an easy way, chat with the models right here. If you want to just sort of chat with a model, it comes up and it gives you some examples. In the bottom, it's just got the regular chat one. But one of the things that you can do is if you have a camera, and this is available on your smartphone, not only here, but you can put Gemini on your smartphone. In the bottom right-hand side, you can add a YouTube video, sample media, a camera, recorded audio, upload a file or content on your drive. If you have a camera or a YouTube video, you can discuss what's happening on the camera live and in real time. So if you want to do duct cleaning and you don't know how to get started, get your smartphone or camera in front of you, get a YouTube video from someone that has done it before, hold your camera up and just start talking. What tools do I need? What is the best technique for doing it? What should I look out for? AI is there basically to help you live in real time on how to do something. I have this unique situation. How should I approach it? Or I can't do this. How come I'm having problems? Do I need another tool to actually do this? So it doesn't matter if it's duct fitting or putting up any particular piece of physical activity. You now have the ability to interact live in real time, multimodal with AI. And there's a good question there, how much to do deep research from a very successful mom. I'll get to that one in a second. I just want to talk about one piece here because, again, this is my understanding of what's happened here with the studio. And I'll use as an example. I'm a big fan of pickleball. What's happening now is Google AI, and also what's happening on YouTube is that Gemini has access not just to the transcript, but actually the visual and auditory component. It understands that from any video. So here's an example of why Google is so great in this space, better than Claude and better than ChatGPT. But if I'm looking at doubles playing pickleball and I have my smartphone with me, I can have the smartphone look at the live camera of people playing pickleball and ask, are they placed in the right place on the court? Did they swing? Is their technique good? Should someone be in another place? It knows what is actually happening visually on or in the actual questions that I'm asking. So this ability to learn things is not limited to how do I create a PowerPoint presentation, or what is the best way to write a book, or what is the best way to play piano, or how do I clean ducts. It actually has the ability to see what's going on now, and also it understands the auditory delivery, the speed, the excitement, the tone, the volume, all of that stuff. It understands the emotional inference now, and that is available as part of the work that we actually get doing with it. So learning stuff now, do you take a course or do you talk to AI that's there and just ask questions live in real time about the specific problem that you're running into? And I think that's the big issue for education, is knowing that that's here now and is only going to get better. Why are you creating a course? I don't know if that's the way to go anymore. So here's the one here. Cover deep research and how do you determine how you price a course, or is it as free lead magnet and selling tests? Okay, so very successful mom. Thank you very much for that question. I will go over how I do it. There is no right or wrong way to do it, but I cheat when I do deep research. And I'll give you an example of one that I did yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Actually, I'll show you the video actually so that you can see it. I'll pull this up on the screen here. We'll just do this. And this is an example. What I did is I used Notebook LM. I'm just going to open up my channel here so I can get the exact link to the video. There it is there. This one was a video, and again, I'll show it on the channel. And of course, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up, all that important stuff. This one right here was, yeah, I think it was this one right here. This was the one about a Notebook LM changes everything for course creators. And I'm going to show you the workflow that I did in this. What I did is and I'll show you the results. What I did is I went to, in my case, I went to ChatGPT and I said, I'm going to be doing deep research on something. What I want you to do is write the prompt that I can give you to do the deep research. And this is something that I do all of the time now, is whenever I'm working on something, on this one, let me just do, yeah, here's one here. This is the one that I actually did. So what I did is I went and I asked ChatGPT to give me the prompt that I should give it to do the deep research. And this is the actual, I'll share this. And actually I did share it in the course on this. I put this into a course. And that's another kind of trick as well. You know, call it a course, but it was organized information in a logical sequence that someone could follow that I give away for free. So here's, see, this is a deep research. It was 75 pages it came up with. So this is what I did. I basically said, I want you to create a prompt based on my information. And what I asked, I said, this is the part that I want the deep research about, and this is how I want you to approach it. And then I basically said, give me a prompt about it. And when I had the prompt, we'll actually run it again. Okay, so this is the actual prompt it came up with. I copied it, and if you want to do one again, by the way, if you haven't seen this, look in the upper right-hand corner. This might be available to you. This is group chat. So ChatGPT, you can have up to 20 people. Let's say you've got a coaching program, right? Where you've got a group or a discussion group. You can have a private group like WhatsApp, and you can have 20 people in it, and one of those people can be ChatGPT, and you can instruct it to only answer questions when it's asked, but you can also instruct it to ask questions or get involved in the conversation. So that's just another example of, should I do a course or should I charge for access to my interactive group that answers questions about the content that the 20 people are creating, which is something else we can cover in another one. So here's what I did. I asked ChatGPT to create a prompt based on the big picture that I wanted the research done about. All I did is I went to here and I selected deep research. I only have 24. I think you're limited to 40 a month, at least on this paid account. I made sure it was on deep research, so it shows up here as deep research. I pasted the prompt in and it went through and it was basically done. And what I got out of it was this one here, which is Notebook LM. What I did is I took that document, which was the Privately Branded Campus research. It was a 75-page PDF. And from there, what I did is I just gave it to Notebook LM, and I actually went and created 8 different learning assets that are available now to myself, including a slide deck that had 14 or 15 slides, an infographic, a 10-minute audio preview, a 10-minute video explainer, an interactive mind map, flashcards, quizzes, etc. And this was absolutely stunning. Just to give you an example of an infographic, for example, this is one of the ones that I ended up getting created. And I only gave it the deep research. That's all that I did. And it wasn't even my deep research. It was just the research that I had asked ChatGPT to actually create. And this is the infographic that came up. So whenever I'm doing deep research, I will either go and ask the tool to write the prompt to give itself and let the tool do deep research. All of them have this deep research function now. And then I get a document or something to work for. Okay, so, and again, all of the tools do that. And in fact, Notebook LM does this. It's built into the sources. Sometimes I take it from different ones just to get a little bit of a different perspective. And the other thing to remember is that these tools now have persistent memory. So it means that sometimes the answers you get from one tool are consistent with the previous chats that you've had. So it kind of tailors the answers to your previous chats, right? So sometimes I'll take one out of context so that it has a different view or a different perspective of something and bring it into another tool. So I cross-pollinate or try and cross-pollinate on all of the different pieces. So hopefully that helps. Just pick one of the deep research ones, but ask the tool to create the prompt to give itself. And then when I ask it, I say, look, this is the way, or these are the things that I want covered in the deep research. I just didn't say deep research this topic. I just say, look, these are the things that I like. These are the things that that I focus on. These are the things that my clients focus on. What I want you to do is deep research this and have it go and do it. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if it was there. So deep research, again, I think there's 40 a week. It is absolutely a wonderful idea. And actually, if you have one, very successful mom, what I want you to do is put in the chat, give me what would be a good example? Give me a lesson script or a YouTube script that you want to have, just a topic for a lesson script, for example, that you want to do, and I will show you how an agent skill that I built in Claude will do all of that work instead of even prompting. So give me one that you have there that's interesting. So, okay. And while you're doing that, I'll just answer this one here, which is, how do you determine your price, how you price a course, or use it as a free lead magnet and sell direct access to us? Okay, so there is, first of all, I just want to say when it comes to courses and stuff, there are exceptions to every rule. I can tell you how I'm doing it specifically, why I'm doing it specifically this way, and then you can kind of pick it out for yourself based on your business model. And that's the one thing, if you haven't already, on the left-hand side here, please go through. Right here, it's the 10-step campus map. I'll open it up because these are the 10 steps that everyone who has an education business will actually go through. And again, these are just an introduction to it. There's 10 steps here. There's 5 or 6 minutes each video. This is the process. These are the things that are going to happen. And one of the ones here is called a topical authority map that you'll learn about, but you have to figure out your campus goals in your education business. And why I'm saying that is because I don't know what your business is, but courses/content is only one piece of a revenue stream, hopefully. So where you price your products or what your main program is or the purpose of transformation that you're promising people, first of all, I don't know what that's worth to them. I don't know your profitable topic finder. That's why I created that skill. And I don't know what it is that you're selling and what people are willing to pay. So that's kind of the first thing. That's why I would use that topic. What's a profitable topic finder? And it goes to do research on, for example, scripts. Go to Reddit and Quora and do searches on Google to find out how much demand is for that particular topic. So, kind of figure out where that fits in. What I do, and the reason that I do it, is I give away every single bit of content that I have that I have either created and or curated using AI tools, and I try and organize it as best I can. So I've got, just to give you an example, on the YouTube channel right now, if I go and look, I've got here, there's 604 videos on YouTube that I've done in the last 18 months. So these are all products. For example, just average video length is 19 minutes. I'm doing more than 4 uploads a week. It's 1.2 or 1.3 million subscribers. This has been in the last 18 months kind of thing that we put this together. Monthly earnings, you don't earn that much just from the revenue stream from these ones, or at least I don't. But I do a lot of YouTube videos, and what I try and do is, well, and this is the important thing, I don't do the YouTube videos for the YouTube channel. This is how I've positioned it. The reason I do the YouTube videos is for the transcripts and the ability for AI to repurpose the content that is in the videos. Now that can be even video content. It couldn't earlier in the year, but that can be the video content, the audio content, and still the transcripts. So I put as much content I can as I possibly as I can. And then what I try and do from there is I will go in and organize it as best I can if it deserves to have its own kind of sequence of videos put together. I'll give you an example of one. Again, this is free for you, but if I did a little series of videos that were connected together. Yes, and this is free for you. So here's an example of if you want to create courses from YouTube videos. Here's one here that I did, and it's called Turn YouTube Videos into Courses. And basically what I did is I took 3 related YouTube videos that I had that were logically relevant or semantically relevant to each other, and I basically put it in and create a course with it. And I used AI to repurpose, create the lesson plans, the quizzes, the stuff like that, and I put it all in. So I try and create as much content as I can. I put it for free in a content library, and if I can organize it in a way, I make it free in the community. And I don't charge for any of that. And the reason I don't charge is what I just showed you before. I'm looking at this now. This is a Notebook LM account, which is free to everyone. I could have been the person that wanted to learn about your topic or my topic. I could have just come and said, I don't know what I should be doing. I want to do deep research on your topic. It will do the deep research. I have Gemini 3 to talk to. I can get, in my case, I can get a video overview, audio interview, mind map that's interactive, quizzes, slide decks, and infographics done in under an hour. So I look at traditional course content, absolutely free. I give it away. So I don't charge for it. I don't have to worry about those particular charges. Okay. So I use the community as a lead magnet, not the course. And I give away access to the community as fast as I can to everyone. And that is the only marketing that I do is to the community. So if someone comes to, to any of the sites here and I open it up and someone goes to training sites, my landing page is not about us. This is who we are. This is what we do. All that my landing page is join the community. That's all that I do. Anytime I do a YouTube video, I've done it today a couple times. The bottom of the chevron here or the lower third. If you haven't already, please go and join the community. And the only reason I do this is a traditional lead magnet was give a PDF, give a webinar, give a whatever in exchange for your email address. I'm just giving away the community and all of the content that people could generate themselves. I'm giving it away for free, but I've got it in a group that is a large library that is available to everyone. Okay, so I use the community as the lead magnet, not the courses. And the reason that I just put courses in loose, and I'll just bring this up again just to kind of put it in, hopefully in a little bit of perspective here. Let me get rid of our duct cleaning one there. There we go. So let me make this a little bit bigger here for you in terms of monetizing. The way that I'm approaching this now is I use the community as the free zone, the lead magnet, and then the premium zone is looking at and validating what people are interested in by the way that they're looking at stuff in the community, but they'll validate it. And if you have people who are not the do-it-yourself people here, and they need a little bit of help on clarification, on how to apply it, on how to implement it, what I'm doing is I have my classroom where I am available and or my applications are available or my skills packages are available, and I charge for my apps and my skills and help people to use them and implement stuff. So that's the model that I've got set up. So for me personally, and again, this is not for everyone, this is the way that I've got mine set up that's been working quite well over the last year, is if someone is in my training site, at any time you can upgrade to become a campus VIP, which gives you access to, in my particular case, we've got every day of the week except Thursday, we have live Zoom calls where we work specifically with the paid members, that we actually work on their sites and implementing the stuff that is in the library. So think of it as the do-it-yourself people are in the library. They just want to get in and poke around. They don't want to do searches everywhere. They want to know here's about education and building courses and building an education business. Here's a community I can get in and find out about. There's lots of great information in there. I don't have to search everywhere else for it. There's other people doing the same thing. They're not paying for access to the content. They're paying for access to the people and the questions the other people have. That's free. Give it away. The other part this here is I'm saying, look, let's actually work on it. That's the done with you one. If you want help working on stuff to actually go and apply it and not just know about it, this is the part that I'm charging for. So we have classes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday right now. Plus it's open chat. I'm here in the community. Someone's always here in the community. It's open chat for people so you can interact live. If you got a question, if you're working on something, you want to figure it out. And I charge for this part. And right now, the way that I've got mine set up, and again, this has to do with your business model, but I have mine set up until the end of the year where it's $97 a month to get access to the live classes, or $9.97 for the year to do it. And that's the way that I've got my business set up. If your market can support more or less, hey, that's maybe the way that you want to go. And the way that I'm looking at this is that I'm going to be actively involved with people. I'm not just saying, here's some content, pay me $97 with it and go away. So, the whole idea of cohorts and actively working on projects and use cases, that's where the opportunity is in the education space. Again, my 2 cents on this is people who like to teach, who like to talk to people, who like to share, who like to help doing the thing that they've got this experience about. Not creating content to deliver to people, but actually work on stuff. That's, I think, a huge opportunity. So giveaway courses, pay for access, live support, guidance, mentorship, and charge more than you would for a course. Charge a lot more than you would for a course. And you can run cohorts. So if you, that's actually, I think I'm going to be running them. I'm probably going to run weekly cohorts in January. That's what I've got planned. It isn't announced here, but I'm going to say, look, twice every month, we're going to spend a week. We got 5 days, 1 to 3 hours a day. We're actually going to work on this stuff and get it done. It's not a webinar. It's not dumping content. It's like, hey, start, build, and grow your business. Set up your community. Install the software, pick the community that you need, start creating some content, whether it's YouTube or you have existing videos. I've got some clients that have, courses and content that they've done, which is still valuable, but they've got hundreds and even 1,000 pieces of content that's scattered all over, but it's not in a community. It's not available for people. They're just all hoarding it. So get it into your community library. That might be day one. Day two might be, hey, how do you pick the pieces, or how do you create frameworks or mini apps based on the processes that you normally teach? How can you create something that someone of your members would have to use or would normally try and figure out themselves on how to build an app? Give it to them, help them use it, and then help them apply it. And then after that, take a look and say, well, what do you need to do next? Are you selling this? How are you going to take payments? Where are you going to put your customers? How are you going to do your marketing? How are you going to repurpose content? So having cohorts through all of these things, I think, is a huge opportunity, as well as doing these group availability, like just available for access, cohorts, or doing mentorship. And those are all things that I use to as well in our revenue stream. So, for example, I have a mentoring program where I work one-on-one with people. If they just want to work, an hour every day with me personally, there's a mentor program. The other one I have is, what was the one that we'll do? I think it's this one here. Yeah, so we have an agency. I have an agency. We set up privately branded campuses for people. So if you want to have your own campus, content's there, you just don't have time. I want it done for me. We go and we'll actually build a site for you so you have your own campus. Just like training sites, it takes about a day to get it set up for you. So if you don't want to learn how to do it yourself, we'll do it here. And that's that whole progression from do it yourself, done with you, or done for me, and you can monetize those. So okay, so here's the one. Do you want to do this one? Let me know. How many people we got here? 9 people. Thumbs up. That's okay. Helping middle women visibility using AI tools. So here's the question. So, and you want to find out if that's profitable, or what do you want to do with that? Let's do a Claude skill, and let's see what I can come up with. So I'm going to we'll open up Claude, and I'll show you where this is in Claude. We'll do it in the desktop version. Oh, sorry, my bad. There we go. So I'm going to open up Claude, yeah, and we'll do this one here. So I'm just going to say we've got helping middle life women. Okay. Okay. So when you're using Claude, you can have demand for it. Okay. So if you're using Claude, which I recommend, they have a version that is available on your desktop, or you can go to the website. What I did, and again, these are available, I think, to everyone now. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they are in the Pro plan when I originally did these. So I'm suggesting the Pro plan. Bottom left, if I go take a look in the bottom left, there's my login details here. If I do a left mouse click on it, I get settings. And in settings, you'll see that there's this one called capabilities. And if you have the capabilities, 2 things you need. One is the code execution and file creation. You need to turn that on. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is you should have memory on, I suggest as well. But this is the one that is the skills. So these are these agent skills. And I have a couple here. One of them is a competitor messaging analyzer. I have one that is one for creating my own messaging. I have one that's a profitable topic finder that I created. I have one that creates email, an agent that creates onboarding emails. I have one that, for example, that does all my branding. So if I say create a document, use this brand skill. I have one that writes YouTube scripts. I have one that does lesson hooks. If I am going to be doing a presentation and I want to have a hook to start, another skill that's there. So we'll use one here. The only reason I'm hesitant to use this one is because it takes a while to run. So let me, what I will do, I'm going to run a shorter one, but I'll run the one that I'm talking about after, and I'll put it in training sites so you can actually go and do it. Let me do this one. So right now I'm going to go to a chat. We'll do a new chat. And we'll do both just so you can see how they work. So let's do a new one. I want you to use my lesson plan skill. So I'm just referencing the skill that I have, that agent that I have, to create lessons on. And your topic was helping there we go. Using AI tools. So just simplify it a little bit. And again, this is a chat, right? You can use whatever phrase or whatever that you want. I'm going to show you, while this is running, I'm going to show you something else that I suggest that you do as well. So midlife women using AI tools, I'm just going to put that in. And when you run these, the one thing you need to check kind of at the start is it will go at the start here and it's going to say, I'm going to use the skill. So you just, yeah, there it is. Reading the lesson skill plan skill to understand the best practices. So this is going to run in the background, okay? So here's something very successful, Mom. Let me know, have you done a topical authority map? Did you get all of the topics, categories, and subtopics for that? Let me know, just yes or no, that would be great. So here's one, reading the best practices for the skill that I created. How many lessons do you want to create? Mini series, 3 to 5 lessons. Let's do 3 to 5 lessons. And which AI tools? We'll use a mix just so that we can. just going to say perplexity just for a search engine one. And what specific outcomes do we want? And I'm just going to say for this one, we're going to do personal productivity. Oh, we'll do career transition. No, actually, well, let's do this one. We'll do starting and online business. Okay, online business or side hustle. And we're going to want, we'll just do 8 to 12 minutes. What do we got? And any specific fears? And I'm just going to say not tech savvy. Okay, there we go. So this skill, I just handed it off to an employee, right? It's off to my agent that I've given the skills for. I've hired someone that says, hey, this is the way that I want things done. Go and do it. So I'm going to leave this completely and let this work in the background. While it's doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do quickly, because yours is a great example. I'm just going to go up and we'll go back to the training sites community. And again, you have access to this. This is free for you. And it's number 2 in the map right here. So that 10-step map, it's actually the first step, but number 2, discover your perfect niche, Campic topic and theme. So you'll notice that there's a prompt library link in that lesson here. The prompt library, I'll open this up. These are a whole bunch of prompts that I use and examples of how they get used. But in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, we'll do a search and say content map. There we go. So there's we go. Content or topical authority map. Okay, so here's the thing that you should do. Please go and run this. I'll do it with yours right away because it's a good example. You do Control-C to copy that. I'm just going to open up ChatGPT in the background while it's working. And we'll do a new chat. And I'm going to put this in. And I said, I want you to create a topical authority map. My main topic is, and you said, helping midlife women using AI tools. Helping. Okay, so I'm basically saying, here's my big topic, my big picture. I want you to give me 30 semantically relevant or unique subtopics. So what are the other things people would want to know about related to that? And I'm just going to go and pick that. And it's going to go and run in the background. And while it's doing that, let's go see what we've come up with Claude. Still doing that. Again, it's an agent. I sent it off to work. Said, hey, come back when you're finished. Go back and see what's here. So we have a topical authority map. So helping midlife women use AI tools. So it came up, first of all, with 30 subtopics, and they're in categories of 5 each. So right away, if you have a community, these are 30 different topics that you could cover in your community right there. And these are ones, you don't have to take these ones. You could say, no, I don't like wellness or something. Come up with something other than wellness ones, or I don't want to cover that, or I don't have any expertise there. So here's one. Here's an interesting one here. We'll use using AI for guided reflection and journaling. I'm going to copy that one. And here's the second step to this. And again, this is in the prompt. You have access to it. The second step is for one of the subtopics out of the 30, give me 10 useful variations or angles that I could use to create lesson content, discussion prompts, or workshop sessions. I'm just going to copy that one, and we'll go to ChatGPT again, and I'm going to paste that one in. And this time I'm going to take, and I'm using AI for writing journals, blogging, devotionals, and stories. I'm going to show you why in a second. Hey, look, here's something new. I have split view in ChatGPT. That's new. So I'm pasting one of the 30 in, and you can do this for all 30, but I'm just doing one. And I put this topic that was here, topic 16, I just put it in to the prompt number 2, which says give me 10 sort of angles that I can work on this one subtopic. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull up 10 clear unique variations of journals. And these are topics that you could cover and or create in your community or in a lesson or in a workshop or in a cohort. And these are particular examples for this. So you've got now 10 there. So if you do that for each 30 and you have 10 for each, there's 300 topics that you can have for YouTube videos, for deep research, for whatever. You can pick these and keep on working on it, okay? Now, I want to show you one other thing why this is so important. This is the reason that I took these devotionals, journaling. I have one client who helps Christian women, 40 plus Christian women. One of the things that we did is instead of her just telling people to journal, for example, just say, make sure you journal. I'm going to teach you how to journal. One example, one of the things that we did is we went to AI Studio. And what we did is we said, well, why don't we create a journaling mini app? And I went to AI Studio Build, and I did this in a demo. I basically said, hey, I want you to create a journaling app that allows Christian scripture. It's for women over 40. It allows people to tell what they're feeling, gives them some scripture, and then instructions on journaling, and keeps track of their journaling. We did it with one prompt. She's been playing around with it, but I ended up getting an application that was created. Hopefully it comes up here. It's called Grace and Growth. We did it for a weekly check-in. And it basically, I struggled with, what are the emotions you're feeling? What was challenged? And then it basically gives a piece of scripture, asks people to journal on it, and it keeps track of everything that is going on. So she's not teaching someone how to journal. She created an app to help people journal. So just think about how cool that is. Do you create an app? Do you show people how to make the prompts? Yeah, you could do that. But you also say, hey, here's how to use AI to do journaling on a regular basis that we can all work on, that follows the process or the things that I would have taught you. They're here. It's available for you. And the cool thing is on this, just to show you how powerful this is, the colors, the fonts, all of that was done on the fly. There was no prompting. This was one prompt in AI Studio, created an app to at least get started. Very, very cool, powerful stuff. Let's see what we got here in Claude. There we go. Got to hit continue. And this is one of the only issues that I have personally with Claude while this is running. I have a paid version. However, when you're using Claude, they have limits on how big the chat can be. Truncated. Okay, let's see if we can get it to refresh. Is it going to work? Hopefully, and get it to refresh. Sometimes if you have a big task, it actually takes too long to actually go and run it. So hopefully, yeah, it's working here still. So that's something that's a little bit frustrating. And then they have usage limits unless you get a more expensive paid plan. So if you use Claude for an hour or 2 hours, sometimes it says, oh, you've used too much in the 4-hour section. You got to wait until this time to actually go. There we go, got cut off. So I got a little error here. It said file got cut off. Let me create a fresh with complete content. And it's going and actually running these ones. So hopefully it'll be able to work. Yeah, so that's, and that I will run the one that you've asked about, the demand one for it, to actually see how it goes. And I'll put it into the campus, the community for you on that one. So that's kind of cool, don't you think? We've got agents, tools, workflows. These are things that anyone can do right now, as opposed to you creating a content course for them. What do you think? What are you working on? What are the different things that you got in the back of your mind going, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I could do this? Or is there a workflow that would allow me to automate these things so I don't have to do it? I'm just giving it to an agent. What kind of employees do I want? If I did have a whole bunch of Claude skills agents, like what departments do I need? Is there someone for marketing? Is there someone for creating content? Is there someone for doing the outbound marketing or the social media posting? Is there someone that does something like that? These are all opportunities now that are here that everyone is going to be able to have a little more understanding of over the next year. So just think how exciting this is going to be when we talk in 3 months or 6 months or 9 months from now. If we have an education business, that's all I'm trying to get across. If we're looking at it from courses, I don't know if my gut's telling me we're not going to have any kind of business if we focus on courses. If we focus on mentorship, guidance, organized content, apps, agents, helping people use these things, people will pay for that. And they'll pay far more than they will than content that anyone can create. And I think the part that is really, if you're thinking about creating courses right now, the part that, and again, this was in the video that I did yesterday, the middle section of the course market is going to be completely hollowed out. You're going to have 1,000 million billion little cheap courses, and you're going to have some that are very, very, very expensive that are more like blended learning ones. And the people that have the very expensive ones, in many cases, I would identify them as the celebrity courses. And normally celebrity courses is they're not paying for the content, you're paying for access to the celebrity. And that middle area with a 47, 97, 197, 299, that part of if you've just got content with nothing else with it, doesn't matter if you've got an MP3 recording or you've got, some templates or things like that, or a PowerPoint slide deck, all of those things are available now for anyone to create. So that whole space, I think, is going to be gone by the end of the second quarter in 2026. So if that's the case, what are you going to do? I'm saying build a community, start getting involved in mentorship, guidance, what maybe used to be called coaching, holding people's feet to the fire, actually going and doing stuff with live projects with people. And when you're doing that, charge them. Look, it's $197 a month. It's $99, for a 1 hour session, or $250. I charge $250 for a one-on-one strategy session. We usually go an hour and a half to 2 hours, but start charging money for your expertise when you're actually dealing with them, not your expertise for some recorded content. So hopefully this makes sense. What else we got here? What other questions do we have? We had some questions, all comments, favorites. When I'm doing these, I'm by myself. I don't have any staff or anything, so sometimes I miss comments, and I apologize if I have. You can put them in the below if I do miss them. And of course, here's my pitch. Go join the community in the campus. If you're watching this after the fact, these are all recorded. This is content. It's all free. I'd love for you to come in and join. Tell me a little bit about what you're working on. Let's chat about it. Find out what resources or tools that we have available or ones that we don't, and figure out which are the ones that we might be able to use, and learn from each other on all of these particular pieces. I'm just going to pull this up just so we can see where we're at right now. It's on lesson 5 that it's working on, and hopefully I'm not going to run out of use here. So this is my agent running in the background, going and do all of the work, not me having to do a prompt and say, create a syllabus of 5 lessons covering this topic, and then go and create, this type of lesson with 750 words that is formatted in this particular thing. I'm just saying, hey, here's my task, go and do it. There we go. Hit nudge. Let's continue. And again, this is why I didn't want to do that longer one, because it takes time to actually run. And unfortunate. I'll try and put this one in. Output 5 is done. Hey, maybe we're there. End of file side hustle. We're trying to put it together. Hopefully we'll get it there and I'll be able to show it to you. Does that help? What do you think? Is that something you can work on? What else do you want to look at? I got a couple minutes here. It's been 70 minutes. Again, I can talk about this stuff forever. It's super fun, huge opportunity. Don't be scared by it. Make mistakes as fast as you can. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, my message to you is create a YouTube channel as fast as you can and do as 0 edits. If you can get the handle on 0 edits and do a whole bunch of videos on topics and questions that come up in those topical authority maps. And we'll see if we can get this one to work properly while I'm waiting. I'll show you one other thing, just what I was talking about there on how that part fits in. So what I want you to do is, and again, this is the one for you. We had number 3 was, for the main topic variation, give me 25 of the most frequent or challenging questions. And again, these prompts are available for you. So we did one here where we picked 30. I took one of them and asked for 10 variations. And then I'm going to do this one here, turning life experiences into written lessons. And I'm going to put the third prompt in, which says, for the topic, and that was the topic we're just covering here. I'm going to put that in. Give me 25 of the most frequent questions that learners, members, and community participants would have. And this is going to go and give me 25 questions. I could have said 10, I could have said 50, but I've now got 25 questions. And these are the ones, if you want to do a YouTube video on these, if you want to do a listicle, if you want to do a podcast with someone, if you want to do deep research, these are all questions that people have, and you can verify it with them, ask in your community, find out what the ones resonate, which ones don't, other ones that kind of fit in, but you've now got 1, 30, 10, 25. One big topic, 30 subtopics in categories, and then you've got 10 key parts of one of those subtopics, and you got 25 questions for each of them. Hopefully that helps there. One of the questions very successful mom had, when using Claude, do you use Opus 4.5 or Sonnet for lessons? You use one versus the other. There's another good question. I'll pull that one up here. Right now on my account, I use Opus 4.5, which is the new model that came out 1 or 2 weeks ago. It used to be Sonnet 4, but it's now Opus 4.5. That's the one that I use. The other thing is when, hopefully this one finishes up, when I use this, I make sure that I keep memory on, and I also have special instructions. So I use special instructions in Claude, and I also use special instructions in projects. And these skills supersede special instructions. So, and the skills are stackable. So the other example of this is when I get this particular one finished, I can call another skill, which is an example of create the marketing messages, which I have a skill for this new course. It creates onboarding emails, it creates external marketing emails, it creates multimedia, posts for social media, and also user guides and case examples. So it's like, I got the lessons, now I want you to create the marketing stuff. That's a different agent. I just hand it off to it. Hopefully this finishes. It was a pretty big one. I should have asked for less and probably maybe used less stuff in the background here. Yeah. Unfortunate. I'll just show you where this is kind of working too. I just don't want to open up this account. I'll go and open this one here, Claude in the desktop. Let's do this one here. I got to spell it correctly. There we go. So here's Claude in the bottom left again, where I show you that bottom left piece. Just make sure I got it. See, there's settings. One of the things that happens here, and I only have the basic paid one, not the high-end one. There's one called usage here. And let's see where we got. Oh, we're okay. So the reset here is 3 hours and 45 minutes. I'm at 77%. And my weekly limit, I'm at almost half used. So this is why I kind of run into um, different kind of pieces here. Okay, so that's where this is. And I will show you just because I'm here. Remember I was talking at the beginning about MCP connectors and how cool they are, and this is why I really like Claude, is let's say we're working here in Claude, and I've got another version of Claude working, so I don't want to break stuff, but one of the things that they have here are these connectors. And there's two types of connectors. Some of the ones that are kind of built-in ones here on the web app one is I now have access to whatever's on my Google Drive, so I can chat with Claude about document, find the document, research all of the stuff in this folder, do prompts on that kind of stuff. Calendar, Canva, Stripe, all connected. They have additional connectors, and there's all sorts of them available now, and you can even add your own. Now, the part that you can add your own ones are on your desktop version of Claude. So just to give you an example of the ones that I have set up is, in my case, on trainingsites.io, let me do one here. So here's one of the ones. I'm just gonna, just so I can get logged in and you can see it. In my trainingsites.io, the stack of tools that I use, this is a WordPress site. It uses Fluent Community. There's a stack of tools. Fluent Community, which is the community plugin that runs all the community stuff, and also the basic LMS that organizes the courses and has quizzes, that kind of thing. I have Fluent CRM, which is the customer contact relationship management, and I have Fluent Cart. And all of them are connected together. But here's the cool part. If I go, and let me see if we can get I'm going to pull up a content here, Jennifer. So let me see if I'm going to open one up here as a contact and see what's going on here underneath the hood. So here's one here. So I want to pull up, I'll pull up myself just so I don't put anyone out of sorts here. So right now there's 7,724 contacts in the community, in my campus community. I'm just going to do a search here and make sure that I've got myself as someone that's here, and we'll open up the contact record just so that we can actually see on this one. So I got a lot of James here. Unfortunately, I should have done a little more. Here, let's do this one. I think I have a James and a James Maduke. Okay, so here's the one. I'm just going to open this contact up. Now here's the really cool thing. In that Claude account, on the desktop, I have a connector to Fluent CRM and Fluent Community and social media. So anytime I'm working with these agents, I can tell Claude to go and write a campaign in my Fluent CRM and send it to my list of contacts. So when I'm doing these skills, if I have a marketing skill, I can just say create or organize or put together 5 outbound emails that launch a product or a service, and it will write the emails in Claude, and then it will actually go to my WordPress site, create the campaign, and I can say, do it a day apart, 5 emails, and activate it, and it will actually go. I normally put it in draft. I take a look at it. When I'm ready, set to publish, it's done. So remember I was talking about having Claude in the middle, connecting this data and the agent skills. That's one of the reasons that I like using this one. It's directly connected here, for example, to the person. And in my case, the community is as well. So for me, any of the people that join the community, there's a couple things that I know, because this is all in one campus, which is the other part here about running a campus business. I know, for example, for me, what spaces or groups that I'm in. I know all of the courses that you are in, how much you finished when you enrolled. I also know, for example, if you've booked an appointment to see me, which you're all available to do, whether it be a strategy session or a one-time talk session. I know, for example, any campaigns that were sent, emails, automations, forms, what you've purchased, emails that have gone out. support tickets that you have, projects that are here. It's all in one particular place. Claude is connected to this, which is kind of cool. And I will show you, again, hopefully, I don't know if this is still running. We'll see. Hopefully it is. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Let's pull this up. There we go. Okay, so here's, are you still with me? Hopefully you're still with me. So this was very successful mom that was asking, there we go. So I didn't do the demand one for it, which takes a little bit longer, but this one took like maybe 10 or 15, yeah, 15 minutes to actually run. So I have a skill that is a lesson creator, or basically syllabus creator that puts it out. And I asked the skill, I said, hey, for women that are interested, midlife women starting an online business with AI or using AI tools. So I gave it a skill, and this is what my agent created for me. AI tools for side hustle designed for midlife women who aren't tech savvy but want to start an online business. So there's the lesson 1, discovering the side hustle idea with ChatGPT. 10 minutes, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, and lesson 5. Okay. And then here are the lesson plans that are here. And I can open them in the Drive or open them on my Mac, open them here. And then the artifact is on the right-hand side here. So we have 13 pages. The lesson is done out, learning objectives, materials done, step-by-step content outline, the hooks, why it matters, previews, the sections of any of the videos, anything like that that needs to be done. Section 3s, practice activities, guides, and for lesson 2. So, if you want this, you now have a complete lesson plan that was run for a course for women who want to get started with AI, and you've now got something to run on. And if you want to make changes to this document, you are in Claude. You can say, hey, no, I want message, lesson 4, completed lesson 2, or I want you to cover this and update the document. It will update the document. You can also say, for example, you go to lesson 2 and just say, what are the other one? I'm just gonna use my YouTube script skill to write a script for lesson 2. So hopefully it will go and actually do this, and actually I can pick the lessons, use another skill to actually work on the ones that were done there. See if it pulls it up. But that's just an example of what you can do. Again, that was my skill. You can create your own skills. If you wanted more in the lessons, less in the lessons, you can actually go and do that. And if it's okay with you, I'll actually go and put that up with this particular lesson that I'm recording here in the live stream. We'll put it in and have it organized with the resources and stuff that were there. So if you missed it, you can certainly go and see that. So did it go? It's double checking, make mistakes. I don't know if it's going to run here or what we have for time. So that's pretty cool. If you are interested, if it's the first time that you're actually here with me, one of the things that you can do, and I'll put the links in the comments below, but they're always available on the community site. So I have, let me do this one here. Just want to make sure I get these off the screen. There we go. So I'm just going to go to trainingsites.io, and if we do, make sure I'm here. There we go. Trainingsites.io/talk. Make sure I spelt it correctly, put an extra K in. So if you want to book some time with me, I'm available for 15 minutes. Each person can book some time with me personally. If you want to book a Zoom call, tell me about your projects and stuff. We can actually go and do that. And then the other one that was there that I talked about was the strategy session. If you want a 2-hour strategy session, those are available /strategy. And again, I'll put all these links and make them available for you. And then the other thing is if you really just want to say, hey man, I don't want to learn this, I just want it done for me. I want a campus that looks like yours, but obviously customized to my business. You can just go to trainingsites.io/site. Tells you a little bit about the service, and basically it allows you to book a time with me so that we can go over and get the details on what it is that you're actually trying to do and if it works. Okay, so we get a Zoom call, we get started, the campus goes live. It's basically we can get a campus like this on WordPress and even on Circle, some of the other softwares as a service. Circle is the other one we'll do, but we can get it set up in about 24 hours. And then make tweaks over the next month for it, but you'd be able to start adding people in about 24 hours to it. So any other questions there? I've been going an hour and a half. I kind of get carried away on this stuff. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if something that you liked. Join the community. Get inside the campus. Don't be afraid to ask good, bad, ugly, simple, complicated questions. We're all there to learn about all of this stuff as it changes. No one has all the answers, and if they're telling you they have the answers, they're fibbing. Stuff is happening so quickly that it is impossible to keep up. But if we can work on it together, learn what's working, what's not working, it's going to save all of us a whole bunch of time. So any other questions before I kind of wrap things up here? So very successful mom. Did you like that? That was pretty cool, right? Did a topical authority map as an example, created a lesson plan for you, and it took under half an hour to actually go and do that. And the cool part is that yes, you did that, but what that means is that the people you're trying to sell a content course can do it as well. So you got to ask yourself, if I'm creating an education business today on the 10th of December in 2025, what's happening in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months? Where is my business going to be? What am I going to be doing? How am I going to take advantage of this? All I'm suggesting is it's not courses and the way that you've already done things. It's finding out about agents, finding out about mini apps and workflows, talking to people, working on projects, having some fun, and letting people create their own content that is appropriate to them individually, not you trying to give them the content and make people who buy your course fit to your content. So hopefully that was of worth to you guys. Learn English with Jennifer. Thank you very much for the booking. We'll talk to you on Friday. Let me just see. Do you want to see what happens with that? Just an example. Let me know if you want to see how that works. And if you don't want me to show this, Jennifer, that would be fine. The reason I want to show you is because one of the things that we have in the campus is we have Fluent Booking, which is exactly the same as a paid version of Calendly. And what it does is it allows me to have a booking page, and I can have as many calendars as I want, and or allow to have them assigned to the team. But it creates the Zoom accounts, it creates all of the emails to go out and do the connections and things like that. But it's all done, and it's now connected with Jennifer's account within my CRM, which is kind of cool. And I'll just show you kind of where that is. And again, this is all part of a WordPress site. And this is one of the things, I have a framework called Fit. And that framework Fit is about deciding, should I have used Kajabi for this and School for that and Convert for email marketing and Calendly for my calendar thing? Do I use all of these really cool services and try and fit them together? Or do I own my property and my campus and I just use WordPress to have all of this stuff in one place and not have to connect it? And in fact, that question that I was just talking about right there is the one that we're doing in the dashboard, the Notebook LM. There it is here. This is the one that actually that I was just going through that. It was putting it all together and trying to figure out which one to use or which one not to use. And that was the infographic that we did. So this is a question you have to answer, and it's one of the first steps directly within building out your campus. The reason I'm talking about it is because we've got Fluent Booking here, software management, but there's the dashboard. And I can go and see, for example, the bookings that are here, canceled bookings, completed bookings, 196. There's Jennifer that just picked one up here on the right-hand side. So she just booked one, and it's December 10th at 9:12 a.m. your time. So I would think we'll have to double check on that one. And again, let me just look on this one, find out where Jennifer is. My time zone, yeah, my time zone, we're going to check on that. My time zone is Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to have to go and check and see, make sure, Jennifer, that we've got the actual time there. But for me, what's happened is Jennifer's booked a time. It's in her CRM contact record. I know exactly what she's interested in. I can have the follow-up emails that are done automatically. It's booked in my calendar. She's given a link. She's got a private Zoom link. Doesn't have to be Zoom, but I've got it set up for Zoom. It could be Google Meet or a phone call, whatever you want to do. But it's now all there, and it's completely automated and ready to go. So, okay, what do we got here? Anyone else? One last question before I leave for the day. Swing, miss? Okay, I just want to thank everyone for coming on. I really enjoy doing these sessions. Again, if you haven't, like, subscribe, thumbs up, comments, all of that stuff you're supposed to do. But more importantly, join the community, share with what you're doing and the questions and the stuff you're running into. I would love to find out more about your business so that we can all start, build, and grow our own education businesses. So take care, expect the best. We'll be back next Wednesday. Or if you're a campus VIP and you went to, let me just show you this page. This is my pitch page. If you go to trainingsites.io/campus, you can join as a campus member, paid member. Right now, it's $97 a month or $9.97 a year, and that will be changing in January as we add the cohort. So if you haven't already, you want to lock yourself in, I suggest that you go do that, and that's campus, trainingsites.io/pass to get a campus pass. So thanks again, everyone. Take care. Expect the best. We'll be back next week with another great session. Thanks for coming on.